Hello watch enthusiasts. Now today I'm going to be talking about the best, or at least my favourite accessories and gifts around the horological world for Christmas, or any other religious or non-religious festivals going on at this time of year. Now you might have noticed I reverted to my original intro, and that's because a lot of people have said they liked it, and I'm hoping to make a better developed version of that still to the SETI soundtrack in future, but for now we'll have to stick with the older one. Also I felt that it was time for a change really, with regards to the intro of the channel. Equally, I apologise greatly, but the sound quality for this video in terms of my voice might be quite poor, but I'm afraid I've developed a sore throat, and that may come across in the sound of the video. Hopefully I'll recover soon, so that way my voice will return to normal and hopefully be more audible in these videos. But it would be very much appreciated if you could just bear with me for the next couple of videos. Now the first accessory which I'd like to feature is the Nomos Sundial, and more specifically the stainless steel one, because I think it's more practical than the gold-plated version. And this is a rather curious piece, because for £128 or so, one gets a miniature sundial. Now, it's quite interesting because one can either wear it as a ring or around one's neck, but then it serves a very clever purpose, telling the time. Now, in my opinion, this is a very refreshing piece, because in a world of increased complications and tourbillons and chronographs and so on, it's nice to see something very, very simple which does a similar job. It tells the time. Now, I do love complications on watches, as you know, but it is very refreshing to see something which tells the time in such a simple fashion, and I suppose the most old-fashioned way of telling the time. Now, this is available for 3 locations, because of course it is location-based: London, Glasgow and New York. So that does make it a bit difficult for people who live in other places, but I suppose you can use the GMT version, which is London, and add however many hours you are from that place. Now this works by aligning the various discs on the ring in the particular correct manner to best to catch the time, if you will, and then the sun shines through the small pinhole in it onto the time which sits behind. Now this is an interesting concept, and is very different to any other sundials I've seen before, but again that stainless steel construction makes it very, very resilient and tough, and something which will last. For these reasons I think this makes a very good present for Christmas, in its sort of novelty value, if you will. To someone who has many watches, this will show a really very different perspective on telling the time. And for those reasons, I think it's a very interesting gift, and one which I think a lot of people will appreciate. The second gift also comes from Nomos, but it's not now made by Nomos, it's made by Cowoko, a very famous German manufacturer of pens. They've been going since 1883, and have produced a number of very, very attractive pens. Now, I actually own one of these pens, but I own the plastic version, and my real complaint with this pen was the fact that it's scratched very easily, because of its soft plastic nature. However, there's a new Cowoko 4 Nomos pen, which is in fact a hand-polished aluminium build, and retains the same runnings as the original. It also has that beautiful 1930s style case and lid, which protects the whole pen when not in use, due to its sheer length covering the majority of the pen barrel. Equally, it comes in a leather case to protect the pen when travelling, which is again a very nice touch which wasn't present on the original plastic version. Now this pen has a simple mechanism which runs normal universal ink cartridges through it, which is again something quite nice when a lot of pens have specific cartridges they need. Here you have a pen which can take really most cartridges. It has a steel nib with an iridium tip, and it's a medium-sized nib which is perfect for writing and even drawing. And I really haven't seen any problems with this nib so far. Also, at £58, I think this pen really does make a very good gift in terms of pricing too, because it offers quality and practicality at a very affordable price. Next we have a more practical gift for watch owners who enjoy changing their straps, and this is a watch strap tool by Bergeon, and in my opinion they are the benchmark really of strap tools there are in the watch industry. Now they come at about £30 for simple ones, or about £100 if you're going for caliper style ones, but for most people a simple style is just fine. And I think it's very good to go with Bergeon because they offer a history of making very good tools for watches, which are reliable and very well made. And though different manufacturers will make their own watch strap tools, I think it can be very good to go with the classic, the original style, just to have a fair amount of tips for the tool itself, and equally to have that assurance that it's a tool that's not going to break. Because earlier this year, for example, I was changing a strap on my my Seiko 55 Fathoms, and I snapped the end off the tool and it scratched the back of a lug quite badly, which was a real shame, and wouldn't have happened had I been using a more reputable tool. Next we come on to watch rolls, and these really are essential for a lot of people for travelling with their wristwatches, and feeling safe when carrying them in suitcases or bags. Now I myself use a watch roll, but mine is a canvas style of watch roll, and there can be a few problems with canvas if you don't wrap your watches in microfiber, for example. Notably, they can sometimes scratch the watches if they have a very soft, polished finish, so you can pick your watch out of the watch roll only to notice that it's been scratched quite thoroughly. Only hairline scratches, but nonetheless on your watch, which is not what you want, really. So a lot of people resort to leather watch rolls, and the danger here is that a lot of them can cost a fortune. It's very easy to spend £200 or £300 on a watch roll made from leather, which, in my opinion, is excessive. Therefore, my choice is the Convoy watch roll, and this is a watch roll which I've seen in person once. A friend of mine has a watch roll like this, and these are very soft leather, which can take 4 watches, and they're New Zealand leather, which is particularly soft. This particular type is particularly soft, but then woven with nylon to keep it together very firmly. Equally, the inside is very soft suede, which is very compliant on watches and won't cause scratches. Now, what is nice about this is the price too. For $75 you can buy one of these, and it comes in 3 colours: grey, black and tan, and in my opinion this offers the best value for money in terms of a gift, while also offering very nice quality and very nice looks, which are really perfect for a gift. Another practical feature of a watch roll in general is that it can fold down to be very small and fit into a suitcase or a bag very easily, whereas a larger watch box, even a travelling box, can be quite cumbersome and unwieldy when trying to fit into a suitcase along with other possessions. And also this allows the case to be slightly soft, so if it bumps into something, it will absorb the impact rather than breaking and transferring the energy onto your watches inside. So this really does offer the optimum protection while travelling to your timepieces, and also offers a great deal of protection from scratches and damage directly done to the watch. Next we come on to the topic of straps, and straps are a very personal choice. Many people have their own favourite manufacturers with regards to straps, but here I'd like to talk about 3 which really do offer the best, in my opinion, in different categories. Now, in terms of the best value, Coloreb without a doubt wins this. Now, they're Italian-made straps, which I'm sure you've seen on the Urban Gentry channel, because they're often talked about on there, but I have seen these in person on a couple of watches, and they are very good quality and offer the best, really, in terms of distressed leather straps. They offer really brilliant straps in terms of distressed, soft, unlined leather straps, which will suit older vintage-style watches very, very well. In terms of distressed straps, these also do come in a variety of different styles and models to better suit that distressed look. Of course, they come in greens and blues, and these are my personal favourites in terms of colours. But these won't really appeal to formal watches in the same way, as they're simply too casual. But for around £30 to £50, when converted to pounds, I do think they offer really fantastic quality, considering the price, when lots of other brands will offer similar products for a lot more. If you would like, however, to buy a very casual strap for someone as a gift, I really can't think of a better brand than this brand Coloreb, because they're Italian-made straps of very, very high-quality leather, but they are unlined, but also offer a great deal of comfort, because in their distressed look, they're very supple and very comfortable for the wearer. If, however, you'd like straps which appeal more to a more broad audience in terms of the watches they can be worn on, notably dress watches, sports watches, and so on, then I think Worn and Wound produce some quite brilliant straps with regards to the quality and versatility of their straps. Notably, they're sort of more modern and more neutral straps, which involve the leather being cut specifically to be raised in the middle to add depth and thickness to that leather, and further increase its softness and compliance on the wrist. However, I think the best of Worn and Wound's strap shop really comes in if you want Horween or Cordovan leather. So that's horse leather, or Horween specific leather. And their shop, I believe, sells it for the best price, for around the $80 to $90 mark, which is very good considering the price of these straps. A lot of Horween leather can go up to about $200 in other places. Equally, for around the £80 to £90 mark, this Cordovan offers very good resistance to the elements, in terms of water resistance, and equally in terms of resistance to humidity. Now, obviously, it's not a water-resistant type of leather, but it is one which will survive, if you will, through harsher conditions than other leathers, notably softer leathers seen on more casual sorts of straps. Therefore, I think for £80 to £90, these do offer very good quality for money, and great value for money, despite being quite a large brand, hence Worn and Wound being quite a major watch journalism and sales website. Now, the third and final brand which I'd like to talk about who produce straps are Hodinkee. Now, Hodinkee are known for their watch journalism, and I myself read a lot of their articles, and I must say they make very good articles, but their watch straps and merchandise can be very expensive in terms of what they offer for the money, but they do offer, I believe, the best versatility and the best variety of straps of any website there is. They offer everything from very classic and textured calf grain straps, which are for dress watches, through to very distressed-looking suede camouflage straps, and everything really in between. So I believe in terms of versatility, they really do offer everything. Equally, Hodinkee do offer their brand name and their brand quality, I suppose, as a sort of an assurance of the quality of their straps. They do make very, very fine straps, or have very fine straps made for them by other manufacturers, and they really do assemble the best selection in terms of straight-through leather straps, NATO leather straps, Shell Cordovan, Horween, suede, and so many others in their range, which I believe does offer the buyer a great deal of variety in one place, which can be very practical for someone buying a gift for someone who wants to get maybe a selection of straps, or just the one very, very nice strap to match a watch owned by the recipient. Equally, Hodinkee do make it very easy to buy the straps, with regards to knowing what the strap will look like on a watch, on the basis they offer the service of showing what the strap looks like on a variety of different watch styles, dress watches, sports watches, so Submariners, Speedmaster Professionals, and so on, to really demonstrate what the strap will look like in combination with a watch, which can be very helpful when buying a watch or a watch strap rather for someone when one actually hasn't seen the strap on their watch. Finally, I'd like to talk about NATO straps as a gift for someone. Now, there are many NATO straps on the market, but my favourites are the Alpha Shark straps by Blue Shark Straps, and these straps are, well, they're woven very differently to other NATO straps. They're woven in sort of a longitudinal way, which reminds me a lot of Omega NATO straps, and doesn't have those standard lumps that one sees on normal NATOs. Equally, they have increased strength on the hardware and proper stainless steel hardware, which is nice to see when a lot of companies use coated ones. So, for example, they use zinc or whatever, or as a cheaper base metal, which is then coated with a shiny metallic texture to make it appear to be stainless steel when in fact it isn't. Now, you may notice that in the past I did in fact review Alpha Shark NATO straps on my channel, and they were sent in very kindly by the company themselves. Now, I can assure you that this placement in this video is not paid for, it's not sponsored in any way. This really is as a result of what I found after wearing these straps for a few months. I have found them to be the best NATO straps I can get, having bought from various other manufacturers to compare, to see what else there was on the market. I also think the pricing of these straps is very good, considering they offer similar quality to Omega straps, of around the £200 mark. These straps only cost about £30, $32 I believe is the exact price. And I think this is pretty fantastic, considering the fact that these straps are such high quality and and really do last, considering mine have been through a great deal of trauma, and yet they still haven't frayed or been damaged in any way. Anyway, I'll end on one of those beautiful pictures taken by Hodinkee of their straps on different watches, here on the Speedmaster Professional, a real classic. But anyway, I hope this video was helpful in terms of gift ideas, in terms of horological gifts, for friends or family who are particularly interested in watches. So if you did enjoy this video, then please do like, share and subscribe to see more content on this channel and to help the channel grow. So thank you very much for watching. This is Arm on the Watch Guy, over and out.